Tell me what you want. 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 Tell me what you want.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be going over a new product launch. There's actually 3, I think, or 2 new products that launched from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I feel like a lot of brands are launching new foundation, new complexion products. So I want to give you a little bit of a background on my skin, combination skin. So I get oily in my T-zone and I'm pretty normal elsewhere, especially around the nose and like the center of the face. I get a little bit more shiny, but I love a dewy look. Super excited when I saw that she was coming out with a dewy or a luminous foundation, claiming that this foundation is vegan, gluten-free, alcohol-free, clinically tested, dermatologist tested, ophthalmologist tested, non-comedogenic, suitable for sensitive skin, long wearing, and no flashback. It says it's a medium coverage foundation with a luminous natural finish. So it's been a little bit since I've done a review, but if you guys are new to my first impression try on reviews of a product, just always keep in mind what may work for me may or may not work for you. My opinions are 100% my own. I always say if you're contemplating on trying a product, you really just have to try it for yourself. Taking the product out of the packaging, here it is. It reminds me of the packaging, not exactly, but similar to the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation as far as like being glass with the black top. And then like this wording for some reason reminds me of Il Maquillage. It is 1 fluid ounce and it retails, how much did I pay? For $38 US. Honestly, that's around a quote-unquote reasonable price point for foundations that are out there. So one thing that kind of confused me when I was at Ulta this morning was the shades, and I really didn't look into the foundation itself as far as like what was said about it, but I took notice that a lot of the cooler tones, so anything that had like a C attached to a number as far as the shade range, I felt like when I swatched them they were pretty warm. Not as warm as what the W's were. Me personally, I go for more of like the neutral warm tones, but depending on the brand, some cool tones pull more pink and it just doesn't complement my skin tone. It's kind of throw off because I was about to purchase a cool tone foundation because of how it looked on the back of my hand and when I swatched it here, but then I was like, what if it oxidizes on my skin? I'd rather have something that's more neutral warm. So I went with shade 355 Neutral. So I purchased this A30 foundation brush. It's a domed kabuki brush. This retailed for $24 US. So I'm just starting off with 2 pumps and I'm going to start with the brush and then go in with the sponge and just see how I like it. I don't know how much I need, so I'm going to just go with it. So I'm just going to go in. I don't know if I'm liking the brush. I feel like it's not as like big as what I would want it, but it is nice. It just, I'm very particular when it comes to brushes and it's very soft. So that is like probably a pump worth because I still have a lot on the back of my hand, and I buffed that out and I kind of just dragged the edges, but I pretty much just built that coverage by pressing the product into the skin. It does look like skin, which is look for in a foundation, but it gives good coverage without it being too thick and cakey. The shade that I went for was good. I'm happy I didn't go for more of the warm, the W, because I feel like it would have been too yellow. I feel like I did pretty good with going with my gut feeling on what shade to go with. I don't have a primer on, keep that in mind. I will say it's not a super full coverage, but it gives enough coverage that, I mean, personally to my liking. So I think if you wanted more, you might have to go in with that extra pump or just use whatever's left and build it a little bit more. I'd say if you want to try it out with the foundation primer, go ahead if you have any concerns, but it looks like skin. Like, look at that perfect blend. Okay, so this side I'm going to do a sponge application. We'll see how that goes. But look how like supple the skin looks, and like look how hydrated and fresh it looks. That's something that I personally love to look for when it comes to a foundation. But wow, this foundation is, it's really nice. it's very nice. So I just want to get up close and personal so you guys can see the foundation and like how it really looks like up close. I'm gonna go in with the concealer that I have in my makeup bag. It's my KKW concealer in shade 6. If I wanted like an everyday look and I really didn't want to do any highlighting or contouring, I would honestly just set with a quick powder and go on throughout my day, because this foundation looks so much like my skin but blurred and filtered, and it looks so fresh and dewy that I'm like obsessed. Take my sponge and blend that out. I haven't done cream contouring in a very long time. It's been a couple months, so I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty Tan Tour in medium. I'm actually going to use that A30 Anastasia brush to do this. And I'm just taking that sponge and pressing that Tan Tour into the skin. Now that I have all the creams done, I'm going to go in and set the areas that I put the concealer and pretty much just set my oily areas. So I'm going to go in with the new loose setting powder in the shade Vanilla. So this setting powder retails for $36 US. First off, this thing is humongous, like huge. And I'm just going to set the areas that I know I get oily. So I always get oily around the chin, center of my face, the T-zone, the deathly T-zone. I look like I have a beard. I'm gonna go in and quickly bronze using my Hoola bronzer in Caramel. If you have baby hairs laid or whatever, just press over top. And then I love to clean up underneath of that contour and that bronzer. Next, going in with my ColourPop Pressed Powder Blush in Shortcake. I'm just going to take that powder and wipe it away. So I will say the powder did help eliminate any of that shininess from the foundation, the dewiness. So if that's, you know, something that you really don't want to eliminate when using the powder, don't use as much powder as I use. But I'm oily, so I know how my skin will get. So going in with my NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee, one of my all-time favorite glosses. And then taking my ColourPop Light Stick in Star Bright. So I did want to do a picture with flash on my phone to see if there's any type of flashback that occurs, since the foundation claims to not do flashback. So I have my iPhone, I have my iPhone XS Max, which takes phenomenal pictures. Here's the photo I just took. I want you guys to see there's no flashback whatsoever. My skin looks flawless. So this foundation is definitely a huge thumbs up. The powder's nice. I feel like with powders, this foundation didn't give me any issues. The shade match, I went with my gut instinct when I was in store swatching. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my god, do I go back in and exchange it out? But I found the perfect shade and it looks flawless. It blends, as you guys can see. It looks like there's a nice filter over my face. When I set with the powder, yes, it did eliminate that dewiness, that luminous look. It's like a hit or miss, but with me being oily, I always have to have a powder in my foundation bag and in my makeup bag. So definitely gonna go into the makeup bag and I'm gonna keep trying it out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.